I welcome you to Messiah Revelation Ministry. Today, I just want to discuss a vision I had. I had it on July the 30th, 2021. And in this vision, I saw a very tall tree, and that was very unusual. The height of the tree was unusual, and I saw a lot of birds on the tree. They had their nests on the tree, so many of them, and they were very colorful. And I wanted to catch some of them, but I couldn't. So I used a stick. It's very tall stick. It could get to the top, but there's no way I could catch the birds with the stick. And I wanted to catch them. I couldn't. And I woke up from the vision, and I was wondering the symbolic implication, the imagery that was shown to me with a large number of birds, very beautiful birds, different kinds, different species, who were resting on a very tall tree that is very unusual. The height was very unusual. And as I said, I wanted to catch some of the birds, but I couldn't. And I woke up from the vision. So I tried to analyze the meaning of the vision. And so let me call your attention to Psalm 104, verses 16 to 18. Psalm 104, verse 16. The trees of the Lord are full of sap, the cedars of Lebanon, which he hath planted. Verse 17. Where the birds make their nests, as for the stock, the fair trees are her house. Verse 18. The high hills are a refuge for the wild goats, and the rocks for the conies. And so if you read this psalm, the Lord has prepared places of refuge for his creation, and for the birds, he has a place for them to make their to make their nest. And so the birds that I saw on the tree, they were well secured. They were very conspicuous, but I couldn't get access to them. Even though I wanted to hunt some of them, I wanted to catch some of them, there's no way I could catch them because the tree was so tall that I couldn't climb it. I used a very tall stick, but it couldn't help me to catch the birds. So the birds were very secure. And so the implication is that the birds were secure because they rested under the protection of the Most High. They had a tree that was so tall that nobody could even climb it, and there's nothing that you could use to catch the birds. And if you read Psalm 91, let's look at Psalm 91, verse 4. Verse 3. Psalm 91, verse 3. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. So if you trust in the Lord, he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler. And the birds that I saw in this vision, I wanted to catch them, but there's no way I could do to catch them. The trees that they had their nest on was so tall that they were secured. They were safely secured. They were protected by this tall tree which the Lord had prepared for them. And what is the meaning of that? I remember that in the afternoon, from morning to afternoon that day, July 30th, I went to a library. In the library, I did research. The research I was doing was about the scattered children of Judah, where they were scattered from. And I've already done videos about a time where the Lord, the Messiah, will regather the scattered children of Judah, as stated in Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11 to 12. And I believe that after I left the library where I did research on the scattered children of Judah, the same night the Lord showed me this vision. And in this vision, I remember that the birds were not scattered. They had already gathered on the branches of the tree. The branches were very large, and the whole branches of the trees was full of different birds of different shapes and sizes and different colors, so beautiful. And as you remember, I wanted to catch some of them, but I couldn't catch any one of them because the tree was so tall, and I couldn't use even a tall stick to get to them. And so it means that symbolically the Lord will regather his people, his children, and they will be very secure, and they will be secure from noisome pestilence, and they will also be secure from the snare of the fowler, as stated in the Psalms chapter 19. If you read verse 1 to 4, it's a very powerful message. And so it's a message of hope that the scattered children of Judah will be gathered. They will be gathered together, and they will be secure in a place, in the same way that the birds I saw in this vision were secured on a very tall, powerful tree in the air, beyond the reach of any person, and nothing that I could use. There's no stick or instrument or implement that I could use to get access to the birds. They were secured in their place. They were secured in their nest on the branches of this very powerful tree. So symbolically, the Lord revealed to me that his people will be gathered, and they will be given a secured place. The enemies will not be able to get access to them. So if you are watching this video, the first question I ask you is that, do you have any security? Are you secured? The only way you will be secured is where you dwell under the shadows of the Almighty, under the wings of the Almighty, where you, as a bird, you place your nest on the branches of this mighty tree, where you will be secured, and your enemies will not be accessible, and they will not be able to come to where you are. Where are you abiding now? If I were you, I abide under the shadows of the Almighty, so that you will be secure from all noisome pestilence. The day is coming when the Lord will gather the scattered of his children, and he will place them in a secure place. The enemies will not have access to them. That's the day that the Lord has made. There's a day for the Lord to gather his people together, and he already has in mind a place that he will put them. And so if you read Psalm 101 verse 16, the trees of the Lord are full of sap, the cedars of Lebanon, which he have planted. The Lord has already planted a tree, the cedars of Lebanon, where the birds make their nest. As for the stock, the fir trees are her house. And so you already have a house. The Lord will not regather his people from where they were scattered. He will not gather them just like that. He already has a place where he is going to put them. He will gather them there, and they will not be accessible to their enemies. He is the Most High, and the tree that I saw was very tall, or it was very high. That symbolically is speaking about the Most High. The tree that I saw was very tall. It was a very tall tree, and that symbolically is the Most High, who has gathered the scattered of his children like the birds, having been gathered and having a refuge in the nest that they have been provided with on the branches of this tall tree. There's hope for you, oh, the scattered children, wherever you are. If you are willing to abide under the shadows of the Almighty, and the wings of the Most High will be your refuge. Thank you for this message.